Alright everyone, it's time to go balls deep in discussion, and we are talking about Boruto vs Kawaki. So regarding this topic, there is a question that gets brought up quite often, and judging from the comments on my videos throughout the years and what people have to say on Instagram and Twitter, a lot of fans say this. We all know we are just waiting for that scene in episode 1. We're waiting for Boruto vs Kawaki and then everything will be lit about this anime. We are waiting for them to grow up. I can't be the only one that has heard someone say this or come across fans that talk about the anime in this manner. So this begs another question. Was it a mistake to show us the future of the anime? The writers showing us the future of Konoha being destroyed and Kawaki insinuating the idea that he has killed or sent Naruto somewhere, which by itself caused a lot of hype and discussion among all of us. It made the Boruto anime have a huge jumpstart that they wanted. The future scene revealed a shit ton of information we usually should be ignorant of. We have to wait for the anime to build up to something as monumental as that. It's caused hype. We know Boruto has a scar, we know Boruto has Sasuke's cloak and sword, we know Boruto has the Jogan, the Pure Eye and Karma Seal, and he's mastered it in this fight. Now some people have argued this is like knowing the ending of a movie before going to watch it at the cinema, or how in Dragon Ball Super Broly the film, they already showed Gogeta to us in the trailer, so we already knew Goku and Vegeta were going to fuse and it ruined the hype. Directors and writers use this writing technique, which is to show the pending future of the narrative on how things turn out, because they always have a plan. They have a storyboard that has the cornerstones in place of how the character in the story will progress to that said event being shown to the audience. This technique usually ends up being a mind-blasting twist or a thriller where the audience cannot wait to see what happens as a result of understanding the chain of events that occurred. It brings the story full circle, therefore making it more impactful and resonate with viewers. One of the reasons for this is because there's a certain psychological pleasure in knowing what's going to happen without knowing exactly how it will happen. That's why you sometimes see the ending at the beginning of media. For example, asking someone how did they fall in love with someone in a romantic story. This also adds weight to everything else that happens in the anime and Boruto's actions as a character. Obviously I'm a Boruto supporter and I want this anime to be successful, but we have to admit that showing the future has caused this effect to occur. It allowed us to create theories and ponder on how it is going to happen. Now, we are all excited to see it and it's going to be epic, but one thing we must also admit is that the Boruto anime, due to this slow pace and lazy writing at times, it can be argued that it resulted in the effect of showing the future to fizzle out. What was the point of showing us the future if you're not going to set the tone right and implicit that idea at all in the anime? You need to remind us viewers that this is the narrative train we are on and we are still on track to reach the future we have been told about. You know how many goddamn times I've been told I'm spoiling the anime that Kawaki sends Naruto somewhere in the future in my comment section? It's countless. People think I'm spoiling the anime when in fact it was the first freaking episode of Boruto. They have forgotten that it's already a plot device created by the writers that we already have knowledge of. This is obviously a small sample of people, but it's really alarming. Boruto the anime has barely shown us the Pure Eye powers nor Boruto's Karma Seal in 96 episodes, and I don't think it's going to be explored for another 20. I think you can count how many times Boruto has shown the Pure Eye and Karma Seal with one hand in the anime. Now they have missed a few opportunities of showing his powers during the Mitsuki arc and other arcs where they can display that oh my god he's using it, but bearing in mind that it's 96 episodes and we have been shown 5 years of time span go by. Some people may not even realize that. Maybe Boruto did a poor job of relaying that information to us. On the other hand, the Boruto manga has a completely different tone and direction. All of us manga readers can confirm this, I think. Personally, sometimes it feels like the Boruto anime and manga are being completed by two different visions and directors that do not have a plan on how they are going to reach the conclusion we saw. Now, in a recent interview, this opinion of ours can be confirmed by Ikemoto himself. When he was asked, what do you think about the differences compared to the manga? He says, it has diverged quite a bit from the manga even from the beginning. I've stopped keeping track of the differences. So if the creators of Boruto have the same opinion as me, that seems quite concerning. Please let me know in the comments what you guys think and your opinion on showing the future. I'd really like to know. In my opinion, the Boruto manga is fantastic and I like it a lot. I love the direction it's going and the fresh ideas it's providing. I think it's also exploring the future scene with Boruto vs Kawaki really well. It's actually using the writing technique properly. Overall, Boruto, which uses a frame narrative or prelude story, provides readers and viewers multiple levels of meaning once you have done it. For example, Boruto's character is being looked through a magnifying glass now, and his actions from his past will cause a ripple effect into the future and how he changes as a person. The framing of a narrative creates opportunities for multiple levels of interpretations as I mentioned, thus we are able to create theories on what may happen. For instance, a frame may expand or shrink the distance between the reader and the story, and change our sense of what is and what is not important, or imply certain sociological and ethical consequences that reach beyond the text into the outside world, which we know Naruto and Kishimoto often explore these themes and what it is all about. It's all about philosophy. These type of stories give different levels of meaning. This is why episodes like the Chocho one with Choji, it does not resonate with fans, nor do they care about it. Characters such as Denki or people not in Team 7 lose value because of this. When the Boruto anime explores other characters, we are naturally incentivized as viewers to not care about it due to knowing the future events. This results in us only caring about Team 7 and the older generation the most, since we have formed an emotional connection with them already. In 96 episodes of Boruto, they still mainly focused on Team 7 and no one else. It's already too late for some viewers to make them care now. Like the next week's episodes of Boruto, I think most of you won't even care. Alright guys, in this part of the video I didn't really want to script everything because I'm just going to give you the news. I'm going to give you all the interviews that have been going on with Ikemoto, Okyo Kodachi and Kishimoto, the three guys behind the whole anime and manga. Obviously I'm not going to articulate myself as good as I can when I script everything, but I'm just going to update you guys on the situation and just give my opinion on what's happening, right? In this latest interview from Anime News Network is with Ikemoto himself. I like this guy because he seems to not conceal his emotions and his feelings. He just says things straight up like a savage. I think I like all three of these guys' personalities, to be honest. There's a few things that have been said in these interviews that make us think, oh my god, Boruto might end up being not as good as we think. Because we need to support this show, right? We need it to be lit like Naruto. So with this interview in Anime News Network, Ikemoto gets asked a question. He goes, what is your working relationship with Kodachi, right? Kodachi is the writer and the script writer. He's creating the plot of Boruto, the manga. He goes, how do you get in touch? And then he says, we don't get in touch at all. So when I read this, I was like, what? Nani? I was like, my jaw dropped. Because I was thinking these guys must be working together, like they must have regular meetings, because I run my channel with my friend, for example. Me and him have regular talks, regular meetings, right? Once a week we're linking up, we're talking about what we're gonna do with this little trash channel that we have called Anime Balls Deep. You got this big franchise called Boruto, right? And you have the illustrator not even having meetings. Like he says the first time we met is in the year today. So that shocked me, right? That actually made me think, wow, this made Boruto even more impressive. Do you just meet at meetings? And he goes, we don't even do meetings either. Our editor relays all the messages between us. All the meetings are just with my editor. Don't you have any input in the direction of the story of Boruto? And he says, no, I just talk to my editor directly about it. When it comes to the finer details, I'm usually given free reign over how to depict things. I draw the name, the manga draft, and Kodachi sensei checks it, and he only gets back to me when he wants something specifically changed that suits the storyline that he's creating. I was thinking, Boruto manga, the way it's been illustrated is actually fantastic. I seem to be in the lesser type of fans that actually like the way he's drawn. So I like the art style, honestly I do. I thought Kodachi would be telling him straight up, I want this to look like that, this fight scene is gonna be choreographed like this. But no, like it's just Ikemoto doing everything, and that made me concerned. How do you decide on the character designs of Boruto and Kawaki? So in a different interview with Ikemoto that he did last year, he admitted that he said Boruto's design and Kawaki's design in the future scene, it may change, because he said Boruto's hair is too long in the future, it's getting too hard to draw. He wants Boruto to have short hair in the future. So that future scene that we saw, it can change. What if they retcon it? What if they get to the point where they have to retcon that scene that we know? We've created all these theories on this scene, and they're like, you know what, we wrote ourselves into a corner, we don't know what to do with this, let's retcon that scene. Because also guys, we have to think about, the Momoshiki fight, right? The Momoshiki fight that we saw in episode 65, 66 of Boruto, that doesn't follow the movie, but at the same time, yes, it got the designs from the manga, but it doesn't follow the manga at all either. So that begs another question, what is the anime following? Because sometimes it diverges from the manga and movies and everything. So he's following his own path, it seems. What if in the future the Boruto manga and anime just do a separate path like Dragon Ball Super did? And that concerns me because I really don't want that to happen. I honestly don't. And he goes, what's the most important thing you learned from Kishimoto? And he says, don't miss your deadlines. Not that I've been the best following that advice lately. So even when Boruto manga is monthly, Ikimoto's finding it hard to reach the deadlines. This all makes sense why he said in the previous interview, he says, I love that Boruto is a monthly manga and they have no plans on changing that. Then this goes back to what I said in the earlier part of my video. He gets asked the question, what do you think about the differences compared to the anime and manga? And then Ikimoto says it has diverged quite a bit from the manga, even from the beginning. I've stopped keeping track of the differences. Now, a key thing about this is that Okio Kadashi, the scriptwriter of Boruto manga, he says similar things to this in other interviews too, where he says there are many differences between the two and they don't really keep track of it. So this is another concern that we all have, is like, do they know what they are doing? Have they storyboarded what's gonna happen? I think Kishimoto and all these guys, yeah, they do have a plan on how that future scene happens, but they are doing it from their head. I think they're doing it from their head. They don't really have a concrete plan like directors of movies have. If you have seen Memento from Christopher Nolan, for example, they don't have that detailed plan yet. They're just doing it on a weekly basis. That's what I think. So the last interesting thing from this interview was, are there any Naruto characters have yet to appear in Boruto that you would love to have a chance to design in their older form? And then Ikimoto responds and says it'd be a spoiler, but you have to wonder, why doesn't Kakashi Sensei get much screen time even though he's such a popular character? What a mystery! Not that I can say anything about it. So obviously some of you guys DM'd me on Instagram, DM'd me on Twitter like, oh my god, anime balls deep, Kakashi is Kashin Koji. Literally, you guys did that and I was like, come on man. Alright, Kashin Koji knows Rasengan, Kakashi knows Rasengan, they both have white hair. Kakashi is known to have disguises. No, he's not Kashin Koji. I want Kashin Koji to be related to Jiraiya, or is Jiraiya himself. That would be the biggest plot twist. That would be amazing. I want Kashin Koji to be a plot twist because that would just help the writing with everything. Why I think they do have a plan is from this interview with Shonen Jump, because Ikimoto says here, he says a lot of things about Boruto's character being predestined. Are you always emotionally attached to the characters when you're drawing them? And then Ikimoto responds, he says, well, I suppose so. Most of the time I'm closely attached to the characters I'm drawing in that sense. It's easier for me to emphasize with Sarada and Kawaki and main characters other than the protagonist, because Boruto's actions are pretty much predetermined in the storyline. There are many restrictions in his depictions. That makes us think on the opposite spectrum, yes, they do have a plan. We can reassure ourselves, yeah, they do have a plan. Boruto doesn't have much freedom with other characters and they are easier to depict. Boruto has that future. They know about the future. Yeah, they haven't illustrated it well in the anime. So Boruto does have this future that they are aware of. They're trying to depict it in a manner where all his actions will lead up to that event, right? A key thing we need to remember, the difference between anime and manga, I've said this before, the anime has 8 different writers, right? That's why it doesn't follow the direction of, you know, that's why it doesn't look like it has a plan. So Organic Dinosaur says, everyone, I've always been grateful to you all. I'm Kodachi, who's responsible for the script writing. He goes, as for the Boruto series, from now on onwards, from the basis of amazing ideas that I've received from Kishimoto-san, we'll keep accelerating into an even more amazing direction from the options that I've received about the storyline. So it seems as though Kishimoto is giving different directions that he can take on where Kishimoto wants to take the Naruto universe. Then Kodachi has to take these plot devices and see where he wants to go with them. Kodachi is the one that confirms and approves of the episodes. So there's Kishimoto that's doing the ideas, then there's Okio Kodachi that is getting these ideas and making his own story, and he's the one that's approving of the episodes. Then there's Ikimoto under him that's illustrating this, and then there's the editors and all of us below the editors. So that's the hierarchy. That's everything you need to know. You're caught up now. I support Boruto. I think the manga's lit. It looks like they're taking the right direction with the manga, but in terms of the anime, it's a bit, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, guys, follow me on Instagram or Twitter if you want to get to know us a bit more. Make sure to smash the like button and support us as always, and I'll see you guys next time.